Okay, welcome to our college planning monthly meeting. This is our second class. So I'm Shashir and I'm a junior in high school and I'm from PA and we are organized by AiGoLearning. So before we start, I want our guest speaker to present or talk about herself. So you can go now. We're just gonna wait a couple minutes for her to come in and then we can start with that.
Hi, my name is Arabina. I go to Stockton University, and when it comes to, I guess, my college application process, it wasn't too bad for me. I chose about, I think, 10 schools to apply to. And at the end, the main decision for me was like how close it is to home, my major, and I think those were just the two most important things for me. I am a nursing major at Stockton University. The process, I feel like at first I was very, very like stressed about it, but as time went on, like from talking to mentors, counselors, teachers, my parents, my family, my siblings, just to like have their input, it wasn't too bad. Um, the main thing for me was a support system. So I think it's very, very important to have a support system around you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for speaking. Can you tell us more on like the schools you applied to so they can understand?
Yeah. So for me, it was very important that I stayed in New Jersey because my family lives in New Jersey. So most of it was just New Jersey schools like TCNJ, Rutgers, obviously Stockton, Seton Hall. I'm trying to remember. Um, just anything within like a 1 hour or 2 hour radius from my home because I didn't want to do anything out of state. Cost was also another big factor in that because with in-state tuition, that would definitely be much cheaper for me. So those were just like kind of like the schools that I chose to apply for.
Okay, is there any like specific thing you wanted to apply to or like any specific major you were looking for?
Yeah, my main thing was so at first I wasn't very sure. My main thing was something in the healthcare field because I've always been very drawn to that. Um, Eventually I chose nursing just because it's very versatile. And if I wanted to advance my education sometime in the future, I would be able to easily do that because at that point I would already be in the healthcare field. Um, I do plan on like advancing it. So I don't know, maybe master's, doctorates, the future will tell. But when it came to decision making, I always knew I wanted to go into the healthcare field. So it wasn't too hard for me. The only thing that was difficult was like how specific it is, because some people can just be like biology and that's like a little bit more broad. But I think I went more specific with the nursing because I do enjoy like face-to-face patient care.
Okay. So what school are you committed to right now?
Stockton University.
Stockton University.
Yeah.
Do you have any like intended place you want to go after you graduate or anything like that?
I've thought about it for a little bit, but I'm not really sure quite yet. I think post graduation, I'm gonna like work for maybe a year or two before I think about going back to school again. Um, I don't know, maybe either masters or, like I said, doctorates. But I think for now, I'm not very sure about that quite yet.
Okay. So most of the people here want to know more about applying. Can you give them any tips or anything that you wish you would have done if you knew before? Can you give some tips on that?
Yeah, I think the main thing that makes or breaks your application is your essay. So, although I showed my essay to like teachers, my parents, and stuff, I do wish I had broadened my horizon a little bit with that and showed it to, maybe more teachers, maybe more qualified people to really get a whole lot of different like perspectives and opinions on it. Other than that, I'd say be specific when it comes to your activities that you put on. It's so easy, like it's so easy to just to be like, oh, I did track. But if you specify like, okay, I helped new teammates, I assisted the coach with ABCD, it's gonna kind of help more with your application because it shows exactly what you're actually doing and not just, oh, I did track. Like anybody can just do track.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Is there any activities that you like for your major? Is there any activities that you wish would that you were done, like interning at hospital? Is there anything that stood out to you? Anything like that?
Yeah, my junior year was no, my sophomore year of high school, I volunteered at a hospital and just to like get more of an idea into the healthcare field because I knew that's kind of what I wanted. I wish I would have like done something more specific. I don't know, maybe like shadow a doctor, um,
I'm very dumb.
or do more. I guess I kind of did a little bit of research because I did write articles about healthcare in high school, but I wish I did a little bit more of that because I think I only wrote like about four or five, but I wish I had done it more often. And that would have definitely strengthened my application as well. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any last thing that you want to add before I start my presentation? Anything else?
Um, Definitely don't stress too much. Like you will make it, you will get to the end of it. It is a long journey, but at the end of it, you're just gonna be like, wow, that went by really fast and it's all gonna like work out. It's all gonna come together. So wherever you end up, however it turns out, you'll do just fine. I think like a big part of it for me was just stressing, like just always thinking, but honestly, like try not to stress out too much and just go with the flow.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming today, and I will start the presentation now.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that was our guest speaker for today. So now I'm gonna go more into the meeting. One sec, I need to figure this out. Give me a minute. I'm trying to figure out the slides. Okay, I think I fixed it. Okay, so this is our monthly meeting. So topics we might discuss today. So we're gonna talk about college's holistic way of review and how you stand out to them and what you need. So it's gonna be like internship, research, or fellowships or awards, and what fields of interest. So like what you truly want to be, like doctor, or if you want to go to finance or pre-med, and how to plan throughout your high school year, 9 through 12, when to take the SAT, when to do the SAT, or whether you want to do the SAT or not, or if you want to be test optional, and
Sure.
how to build a strong personal character, showing who you are. And we're also gonna help you prepare essays, supplemental writings, because each application costs from $50 to $100, so you don't want to waste each application. And also each application has special supplemental essays for each school. So next we're also gonna talk about financial aid and scholarships. And we're gonna also plan for extracurriculars, like what summer programs to do and what not to do. And we will also talk about overall. So I think is my screen frozen?
Yeah, it's still on the first slide.
It's still on the first slide. Okay,
Yeah,
is it working? Is it good now or no?
yeah, it's on the second slide.
Is it on topics?
Yeah, but it's
Okay.
not in slideshow.
Is it non-slideshow?
No.
Is it now in slideshow?
No, it's just stopped sharing.
Okay, I'm trying to. Okay. Is it in the slideshow now?
No.
It's still showing everything?
Yeah. Um, I can try sharing your slides.
Okay, yeah. Can you try sharing them?
Yeah, give me one second. Also, is there anyone here that attended the last meeting? You can just type if you did in the in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I think it's working now.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just restart from this page. But it's not letting me do that. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna restart with the topics. So we're gonna start with the college's holistic review and how we stand out with them, and the stuff you need, which is the internships, research, leadership, awards, and what fields of interest you individually want to go into. And this can be like pre-med or finance, and how to plan throughout your high school. So taking the SAT, not taking the SAT, when to take it, when not to take it, how to build a strong personal character and showing who you are, because colleges don't care about awards and grades, but they do that. I mean, that's important, but they also care about who you are as an individual, how to prepare for essays and supplemental writing. As we know, each college application can cost upwards of $50 to $100, and each college application have, like if you're applying to Penn State, they have their own essays. So you gotta prepare for them. How to plan for financial aid and scholarships, because colleges are getting more and more expensive overall, and we need to plan, or you have to plan a way to get them easier for you and your family to afford, and what extracurriculars to do based on your major, so they can include summer programs or internships. And most importantly, plan everything so high school doesn't feel stress and you can have fun. So next, what admissions want, so the strategy and what is the holistic process overall. I'm going to go over that in the next slide. So the holistic process is basically a process of not just looking at SAT and GPAs. Of course, it's still very important. You still need to have a good GPA and a good SAT, but just having those two is not going to cut it. So what they look for is, can you be in their campus? Can you be a future leader, not just be in the herd? So that's what they're looking for. And this is how you can express yourself through leadership, responsibility, and maturity. And most importantly, you have to show adaptability. So you can't just give up. You have to keep going no matter what happens. So that's what colleges want. They don't want you to be perfect, because they admit students with lower GPAs. If you have a 3.8, you can still get admitted over a person who's a 4.0. It all depends on how you show yourself. So for example, I'm a high school student right now and I want to major in finance. So what I'm doing is I'm interning with banks. I've done college courses and research from University of Pennsylvania and University of Rice. I've also published a research on financial education. So the point is that we need to show curiosity and what we do outside of school, and that's where we come in, and we will help you do that. So again, the holistic process is not just reviewed based on your grades and test scores. It's very considerate. So it's like student passion projects and goals and what you do outside of goals. So colleges want to see how you learn outside of school. And this includes summer programs and internships. And this is very important because if you want to stay in a college, there's so many people applying that if you all have the same grade, same SAT, it's going to be really hard to differentiate each person. So what you have to do is build your own unique qualities that no one has. And that's how you can get into your dream school. And we're going to and that's where we come in. So you're going to take the CEP. So first, you're going to take the evaluation. So this includes your academic performance, like your grades, what classes you're in, AP honors, your tests, your SAT, your PSAT, your GPA, and your class rank. And we also want your school activities. So the clubs you're part of, awards you won, leadership roles, like if you're the president of DECA or FBLA, positions you've held, anything you spent time on outside of school. So this can literally be anything. It can be babysitting, it can be helping your parents do something. Everything can have a meaning. And extracurricular activities, like what you've done outside, responsibilities, jobs, sports, like it can be basketball, football, it doesn't really matter. And your competition results, like if you have been any part of competition, any school competitions, it can be a science fair, it can be FBLA or DECA, anything and what you've gotten and special hobbies, anything you love to do, like drawing, reading, or baking. And of course, the most important thing is don't lie on these applications because they're designed to help you. If you lie on this, we can't do nothing about it and it's not going to help you. And next is the student information. So this is an example of how it looks like. So we take the information that we're given and organize it accordingly. This allows everyone to see their areas of achievement as well as areas of improvement and what you need to work on or spend more time on. And again, this tool is only beneficial if you're telling the truth. If you lie and exaggerate your hours or exaggerate what you've done, it's not going to help you. And our goal in the end is to help you get into your dream school. And phase three is understanding where you are. So of course, like if you're in middle school right now, there's not going to be a lot because you haven't taken the SAT. You might not even know your GPA. There might not be any passion projects, any competitions. But as you move on as a freshman, sophomore, junior, you can see them grow, and that's what we want to do. So our main goal is for you to grow throughout your years, and that's what we do. So once you take the CEP, we can see where you are, we can help you, and make you the strongest candidate possible and what to expect from the meetings. So, classes are designed to help students better understand and prepare for application process. So, meetings will be held like this for once a month for an hour, and each meeting will discuss something important. So, it can be your essays, it can be your classes. So, right now, AP exams are coming up, so it can be how to study for them. Or summer's coming, summer's on the horizon, and you got to plan your summer ahead. You can't be behind. And of course, there will be guest speakers at various meetings. And these guest speakers are not just random people. These are people who have achieved big things, like Daniel, who has been to NYU, or some of our other students or alumni who have been to like schools like University of Pennsylvania. They've been to Stanford. They've been to Georgia Tech. So all these high name schools. So not just random people giving you advice. And the meetings will be recorded and an email will be sent out after each one. Signing up for the meetings is required but the meetings are completely free. Alongside monthly meetings, we'll be holding workshops on various topics, and this can be from taking AP classes to writing essays. And there will be a calendar which you have access to see when the meetings and workshops will be held. And we will have a Discord group for the kids in both middle school and high school, as well as one for the parents. So we can share resources, talk among other students, see how they're doing. And we also have really good access to mentors, and our mentors are really good figures because they've already been through the process and they will understand what you're going through. And we will also be holding like leadership positions when they arise, like we're like holding your own workshop, your own classes, and working on what the organization needs. And how important is college planning? A lot of you might think it's not that important, even if you're in seventh grade or eighth grade. It is actually very important because it's getting more and more competitive every year. So what you have to, if you plan it out early, it's going to make you easier in the future because you can't just, if you want to do a summer program, you can't just apply it 2 days before it starts. You have to apply for months and months before, and you have to prep. If you're doing any competitions like DEC or FBLA, you got to prep for that months and months before if you want to win something. And that's why it's really important. So what we do is we'll help you pick the correct major for you to succeed in, because a lot of people pick a major that they think would seem right, but end up not really liking it, and that's not where you want to be. and helps you get a head start, of course. If you're for the SAT, it takes so long to study. It can take from a year to 2 years study. So if you start studying from eighth grade, the end of eighth grade, just a little bit, it will put you miles ahead of everyone, so you can focus on other things. And extracurriculars will help you with that. You can start playing them out because what a lot of people do is don't plan their high school years and end up in senior year building the biggest activities. And colleges can see that if a person just randomly pops out a nonprofit in their senior year, that's going to be really suspicious. So that's why you got to start building from freshman year so you have so much time and you're just really stress free. And high school classes. So when colleges review your transcript, they're looking for a well-rounded student who can accept a good academic load. So this includes the five core subjects of English, math, science, social studies, and languages. So English, of course, every high school student is required to take 4 years, and AP and honors can show readiness. So and in the next slide, we're going to talk about your course work more in depth. So we're just talking about the main ones for now. Next is math. Math is important, especially for STEM or STEM and business. And honestly, it's important for everything. So if you want to be in a dream school, I think it's required that you should be above honors pre-calculus by your senior year and should be in AP calculus. And in science, you can take classes like biology, chem, and physics. And advanced classes like AP Bio can help you show that you're ready for these college classes. And next is history. At least 3 years of expected, and they help build an understanding of society and critical thinking. And AP courses show even more depth and analytical skills. And foreign language, some people don't take them at all, but I prefer that. So you should take at least 2 or 3 years of the same language. And this shows that you're culturally aware and flexible and used to global careers and global problems. Next is the course rigor. I think this is the most important thing, or the most thing people get confused. A lot of people take easy classes and end up with a 95. I don't think there's no point in doing that. If you take an AP class and get a B, that's better than taking a normal academic class and getting an A. Because in these easy classes, it's easier to get an A. In this harder class, it's harder to get a B. I mean, it's harder to get an A, so people end up with a B. So what you have to do is that college is about wow your rigor. So they can see the courses you've taken. So if you take all academic courses, they're gonna know, wait, he doesn't want to do any better. He's fine where he is. But if a student like yourself has taken AP classes, but you end up with the B or even a C, they see that you're trying your hardest and they will like that more than a person who takes all easy classes. So they want to see that you push yourself, but it doesn't mean you should be taking, again, there's always a limit. You should not be taking like 30 AP classes. There should be a limit on what you're taking. So you should take the ones that you know you can handle, that are also challenging, but not also too easy. And admission officers will recognize that you're challenging yourself in a subject that matters to you. And you have to focus on your strengths. So if you're majoring in finance, like me, I want to focus on math. So I'm taking all the math classes I can possibly can. I'm taking all the business classes I can possibly can. I'm taking accounting. So that's what you got to think about. So if you're majoring in biology, you got to take classes related to your intended major. And your school context matters. So not every school offers every single AP. So do the best you can, and you should be fine with that. And make sure you challenge yourself with what your school offers. And next, planning. I think this, if you're aiming for like top schools like an Ivy League, you should everything matters. The slightest thing matters. So you gotta take the hardest classes available because these high schools still do care about the classes you take. So that means taking multiple APs in your area, like AP Bio or AP Chemistry, and especially in your junior year, which is the most important year. Again, we'll talk about that in later slides. And you gotta demonstrate your academic strengths. So if you want to major in STEM, your transcript should show that you're excelling in history, math, and science. If you want to major in humanities, you should take advanced social studies and advanced English classes. And your transcript it's not just a piece of paper with your grades, it shows who you are. So if your classes are all over the place, that shows that you don't really know what you're doing. So picking the classes is just as important well as it's just as important as doing well in those classes. And you have to show consistent your growth. In your freshman year, it's fine if you had a 60 or a 70. It doesn't matter. But the most important thing is that you grow as you progress. So your grades should be getting better. But it's fine. A B or a C here and there is fine because they see that you're challenging yourself and that you want to grow. An example. So this is an example of a pre-med student that I know. He has taken AP Bio, AP Chemistry, honors anatomy, and dual credit biology. So this all showed that he wants to go into pre-med, all pre-med level classes. And a range is something that you want to extend. So it doesn't really have to relate to pre-med, but it's something that you're interested in. So it can be like computer science, stats, and that. And the real world things that you can do is like independent research, hospital internships, like our guest speaker, she interned at a hospital. And you can also do college community classes or and there's a lot you can do, but these are just a couple examples. Another example is my example, or business and finance. I've been taking AP macro and AP micro and basically all the maths my school offer. And my range is that I do student government and I took one art class. So, and other stuff that I do that help me, that show that I'm actually really interested in my thing is launching a side business or doing like dual credit classes or doing clubs like FBLA and DECA and what colleges want. So they want focus and commitment. So they want you to engage in two or three activities and you should be able to master them. So this doesn't mean joining 30 or like 10, 15 clubs. Joining three or four clubs is better than joining 10 to 15 clubs because you can spend more of your time in those three areas. It's better to be a leader of one club than be a member of 15 clubs. That's what you have to remember. So it's just like this. So in your freshman year, you're going to join the debate team, and you're not going to be very good. But your second year, you're going to get a little better. You're going to go to regionals, maybe even states. Your third and fourth year, you might go to nationals. So this is the progression they want to see. They want to see that you can grow. They don't care how smart you are. They care about how much you can grow. And of course, colleges really look for leadership and impact. So colleges want the next leader because colleges are basically a business. They want the best students so they can show themselves and make more money. That's what they want. So as a student ourselves, we have to show ourselves as growing and being a leader in the future. And that's what we have to show. So competitive extracurriculars like passion projects or even like competitions like FBN and DECA, if you place a national, that's going to show that you're really good at something. You're beating other people. So like starting a coding club if you're interested in STEM. And these are the things that help you stand out. And of course, leadership and impact boost your application way more. So what I would do is try to like start join a club your freshman year, and over the years, when you're a junior or senior, you can apply for president and you would get it. And that's how you show leadership and impact. And more info so we can talk about taking on leadership roles. So to maximize any extra activity, you should aim on taking leadership roles. Just being a part of a club is not really that useful. But if you're the president or treasurer of that club, that shows that you're affecting other students in a positive way, and that's what colleges want. And next is success. So another way to boost your profile is winning awards. So this can be like the easy awards you can win or service awards. If you get 150 hours in a year, you can apply for the Presidential Service Award and get that award. Those awards mean something on your thing, and competing against other students is probably the best one. This just shows that you're beating other students. That's something that they also want to do, showing that you're better than them. And innovations and new project. I think this is the key thing. This can make or break your entire application. You can have the worst GPA and not a good SAT, but if you make a really good innovation or new project, your entire college application is going to soar. So like a college application can be like starting a nonprofit. If you're interested in my bio, you can start a nonprofit about donating EpiPens to students in need. So these are the things that boost your application because colleges want new leaders and they want to see your initiative. And your initiative also builds the leadership roles. So your passion project is like an all-in-one. It builds everything that you ever need. So I feel like each student should have at least one passion project to boost their profile into something else. And next is the value-based thing. So I think I went over this a little bit. Colleges don't want perfect grades or SAT, which of course helps, but they want a clear student or a value-based theme. So a value-based theme is like, what kind of person are you, and why should we trust you once you're in college? So a strong value-based theme is like a student who consistently demonstrates resilience and innovation, who finds creative solutions when he faces challenges, whether it may be in real life, whether it may be school or in extracurriculars. So it also shows a student who shows curiosity, who wants to build bridges. So it's not just studying multiple subjects, but making real impact and connections. So, and it's also a student who like has integrity and leadership. They want a student who can almost do it all. Not a perfect student, but a student who is willing to grow. That's what they want. So, and this is our 4-year plan. Of course, planning is really important. That's why we have made a small plan for all throughout the 4 years. So we started freshman year. When you're a freshman, when I was a freshman, I didn't know anything, honestly. I barely even cared about school. So I wish I knew a lot more. So if I were back to a freshman, the things I would do is figure out what my passion is. Like, do I want to major in biology? Do I want to major in finance? Do I want to major in math? So your freshman year is like an experimental year. You can explore, join like 10 clubs, and see how it's going, and do it and keep doing the things you love. And in your sophomore years when you start dropping the useless clubs. So if I'm majoring in finance and I'm in an art club, I would drop that because I can't waste my time. And the most important thing in high school is your time. You will not have a lot of time. It will feel like you will have a lot of time, but once you get there in your junior year, you will have no time to do anything you want. So, but when you're a sophomore, narrowing down what you do to one or two things can make your life 10 times easier. And once you're junior or the most important year, the golden year, you gotta keep building your passion projects, finalize leaderships, be a leader. And again, a lot of people wait until their senior year to get a recommendation from the teacher. But what you should be doing is at the end of your sophomore or your 11th grade year, you should ask two teachers for a recommendation letter. And when you're asking for a recommendation letter, you're not just going up to a random teacher you've never talked to. You have to build connections with them, and that's where it starts as a freshman. You got to pick one or two teachers that you think you're gonna ask, and you're basically gonna be nice to them, talk to them, do anything you want, but make sure you're all up there and don't just ask a random teacher. So once you're junior, you also got to make a list of your colleges, your reach, target, and safety. Our reach school is like a school that you're like MIT or Harvard. It's hard to get into. That's gonna be a reach. Our target is like a school like Penn State, so like a school that you almost know you're gonna get into. And a safety school is like a school that you're 100% getting into, and you gotta scout them out because you can't just apply to 100 colleges once you're in your senior year. That's gonna take so much time and so much money. And also, you got to find summer programs and internships. For me, as a junior right now, I found my internships and summer programs in the beginning of my junior year. So my summer's already set. So you got to start really early because opportunities don't last that less long. And you also got to finalize your SAT and ACT score and our alumni. So part of AiGoLearning, we had a lot of students pass through, and that they include schools like NYU, University of Pennsylvania, Stanford, Georgia Tech. So these are all the former students that you will have a chance to talk to in our meetings. And more than me talking, these students have been through the application. They have been through it and they have succeeded. So as a student yourself, you will get to ask any question that you have. And on college planning support, so I'll post these links in the chat so you guys can get them. So this is our ThinkLand classroom. So this is where our videos will be posted and announcements about meetings will be posted too. This also has additional resources for students and also slideshows and meeting material will be posted in here so if you want to look at later. And you can also join our Discord for any further questions. And you can ask as many questions as you like and we'll always be there. So, and you can talk to you can also talk to other students. You can share resources that you have or any opportunities that you've seen, and it will be easy access to mentors and leaders. So, and that's basically the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, you can ask them now. Okay, Gabby posted the Discord link in the server as you guys can see. So if you want, you can join our Discord server and ask any questions, and you can ask any questions you're here too. If you have any questions, you can also type them in the chat and don't feel scared. These questions are really useful to you and the people around you because some of you might be scared to ask questions. So any questions useful and please ask. Thank you. And before
So
we leave,
can
I
you
want to show the see
can you
what was that?
sorry?
Yep.
Yes, I got questions. So earlier you mentioned about the research. So is can you give me some kind of example about what kind of research is to be for the students can participate can join in or
Okay,
prepare
is there any intended major that the student wants to go to?
like psychology?
Okay, psychology. So you can just so what I would do, so I'm a finance student, so what I did was I asked some of my teachers and they also found other students interested in finance and we started digging. So basically in psychology, you can find a topic that you're really interested in and research on it. So you can research a new aspect. So you can research a new aspect, write a paper, and there's a lot of places online that you can publish your research. So what I would do is get like two or three students together and brainstorm ideas. And once you brainstorm an idea, you're going to make a research paper showing your research and your problem that you're solving. And once you get that, you're going to do a survey you're going to get 50 of students that you have in your school and, and make them do that survey, which answers the question you're going. And once you've done that research, you're going to make a whole page of it and then you're going to try to submit it or get it published. And the way you get it published is that you can literally search up high school publishers and you will see like 10 or 30 websites that publishes high school research. And you can also do that. I think the easiest way is cold emailing professors. So if you have any professors that you know in the area, you can just cold email them and ask to work under their research. That is the easiest way to ever get a research. I see something in chat. It is very difficult to find internships or research for high schoolers. So again, internships, I recommend if you're a high schooler, get LinkedIn because LinkedIn really lets you meet with other students and find internships. And for research, the best thing to do is emailing college professors for research, and they will definitely help you in that.
Thank you.
Yep. Any more questions that you have? Okay, what is an internship? That's actually a good question. So, what an internship is basically like you're almost doing a job. You're basically working for a job. So, if I want to be an investment banker, I'm gonna be a part-time investment banker. I'm gonna work under actual investment bankers and help them out to see how it's going. And it's gonna tell me if I'm ready for the job or not. So that's basically what an internship is. You're basically watching over the person who actually doesn't help them out. Is there any more questions? Before you guys leave, I just want to show you the CEP tool more in depth. So I'm pulling that up right now. So this is the CEP tool more in depth. So this is an example student that we have, and he's an undergraduate student right now. So student information is going to be right here. So he's gonna put all his stuff in, so like what he does, the competitions, passion projects, his grades and everything. And then next you get the student evaluation score. So they're gonna rate your grades, they're gonna rate your competition scores, they're gonna rate your extracurriculars, they're gonna rate your essays, they're gonna rate your volunteering hours, basically everything. And then we're gonna create an application plan to help you what you need. So if your grades are not good, we're gonna help you fix them up. And if you need more extracurriculars, we're gonna help you do that. If you need more volunteering hours or you need more specified things, we're gonna do that. And that's what our CEP is. It's basically a way of you giving us your entire application and we'll see it and fix every part. And fix every part so you have a perfect application to get into your dream school. And that's what the CEP program is. So if you have any questions on what we offer, please let us know. So this is more in depth of how it looks. So it's like your academics, so like your GPA, your unweighted GPA, your class rank, your SAT, your ACT, your actual scores, the classes you've taken and your scores on them, and your activities. So like this student joined robotics team, participate in robotics team, competitions that he has done and placed in, dedications like he likes soccer and robotics, and he wants to Georgia Tech, Penn State, Georgia Tech is going to be a really hard school to get into, but I think with the right resources, he can get into that. And then Penn State, and then their narrative. So this can be their essays, their interviews, their LinkedIn. We'll go over everything. And the X factor is like legacy. if they're underrepresented, if they're really good at a sport, that's what it's going to be. So that's basically what our thing is. And the next is our student evaluation. So this again shows that his name, Bill, has an unweighted GPA, placing him top 5 of his class, but he has not taken any SAT or ACT, and that's what we're going to tell you. So we're going to say that you did a good job in this aspect, but we're also going to go into the aspects that don't look as strong, and we're going to basically fix that up. And then activities, so he participated in school activities, but with no rankings or awards yet, and we're going to tell him that his involvement is not that good and we need to fix that. And then we're going to competitions. So he performed really well in the math competitions and even scored 1%. So that's really good and we can not worry about this as much, but we need to worry about the other stuff that he needs. So we can make almost a picture perfect application. And telling our stories and extracurriculars, like the X Factor, he doesn't have any notable things. Recommendations are positive. Basically, we're going to go over his entire application and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. And of course, it's not to demean you or show you that you're bad. This is the only reason this is happening is to improve you, and that's what we want to do. And the application plan, this shows everything. So the undergraduate, everything. So this has a student profile, everything in it, target schools, their major, your strengths and weaknesses. We'll create this for you. A student persona like this, their profile. So Bill is highly smart, tech driven, and core characteristic, he's smart and he's a fast learner. His motivations and interest. So it can be computer science, AI, robotic engineering, programming, and activities. So this can be STEM or AI. And leadership qualities, communication ability. This can literally show your strengths too. This can show stuff that even you have never seen before. So that's basically how the CEP works. And this is again more stuff, implications, and a summary of what he does. So this is the CEP evaluation. This is basically what we went over in the last slide. And this shows where your things are. So on a scale, or where you rank. And basically, we're gonna grade you out of your extracurricular. So as you can see, Bill, his GPA is excellent. SAT score, not really. He hasn't even taken the SAT or ACT, so not at all. AP tests, decent. Competitions, really well. Activities, okay. Passion projects, guitars, your recommendation. The essays, not really too great. So that's what we need to work on. So basically, this is what the CEP tells you. It shows you what you're good at, what you're bad at, and what to fix. And that's where most students lack because I wish that I had this tool when I was in high school. I still am, but like it's a little too late to use this. So if I were you guys, I would really use this tool and it would really help you boost your college application because the people evaluating you are not just random guys. They're people who have succeeded in life, people who have gotten into dream schools. So that's why the CEP tool is very useful. So that's basically the overview of CEP. And again, if you have any questions on anything I went over today, I would love to answer them. So where did I get the CEP? I will post a link to the Discord and the CEP room so you can access them. I'll actually do that right now. Okay, so I put the link in for the thing. And yeah, thank you so much. Yep. We're always here to help. So if you have any in-depth questions, I'm ready to answer them. And I just gave the link to the ThinkLens. So once you click that link, you will be directed to that page and you can see the CEP classes and you can even take the CEP there. So if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat or ask them. Anything is fine. Again, there's another link. So with AI Go Learn, you can use that link too. Okay, so if you guys have no question, that sums up the entire meeting. And I want to thank everyone for coming here because a lot of people are not even willing to care about colleges. So all the people who came in here, that means you want to do something and you want to achieve something. So I really appreciate that. And I really admire that too. So thank you guys for coming to this class. And I hope you guys have a good week and you're welcome to leave. Thank you so much.